Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T, welcome to a brand new episode of the Card Collector Series podcast. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Got a lot to talk about, a story to tell. Gather around. It's story time with your man T. We'll do that here in a second. But before we do that, first and foremost, if you enjoy this content, please hit the subscribe button for more great content. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And also hit the like button as it helps this channel grow exponentially. Also, leave a comment down in the comment section. Love to hear from you guys. Love interacting with you guys. And that also helps this channel grow as well. At the end of every single one of these podcast episodes, we have a value pack rip. Most likely a value pack rip. It's a pack rip regardless. Usually a value pack rip with about 30 cards or so in it. Today, no different. We'll have a 20 card value pack rip with 2020 absolute from the NFL space. You know what we're after. KABOOM! Guess who stepped in the room? We'll try to get that done at the end of the show. And I want to tell you where I got that pack from and the story right now. If you aren't interested in today's topic, feel free to fast forward to the end to see if we got to that KABOOM or not. So, Black Friday was this past weekend. Thanksgiving weekend. Black Friday is always the day after Thanksgiving. We all know that. For those of you who don't, that is the biggest shopping day in the United States every single year. People spend tons of money, do their Christmas shopping. There's tons of sales across the board. There's also Cyber Monday that follows Black Friday. So that's on the Monday of that following week. So lots of money being exchanged by consumers in the U.S. market. That said, it's one of my favorite times of the year. I've already said that Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because of what it represents. Not the actual Thanksgiving itself, but just the gathering of family and friends and people that I love getting in one space at the same time and occupying that space and spending time with one another. So sometimes as human beings, we get so busy in our lives, our day-to-day lives, that we don't take the time to slow down and cherish the things that matter the most. And that's really just each other, you know, the relationships and the bonds that you have with one another. But that being said, I always go home usually for Thanksgiving and, you know, we all get together at my mom and dad's house and we come together as a family there, and that's where we spend Thanksgiving. And I usually stay there 3 or 4 days while I'm there, and I make it worth my while. And, you know, that's where I'm from, back in the 757. For those of you who don't know, Norfolk, Virginia, you know, the 7 cities: Norfolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Hampton, Newport News, Suffolk, Williamsburg. So I tend to get to those areas, right? Or did I say Portsmouth? I think I said Portsmouth. If I didn't say Portsmouth, I don't think Williamsburg. Williamsburg is not one of them. Let me double back, make sure. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Newport News, Hampton, Suffolk. Those are the 7 cities. Williamsburg is not one of the 7 cities, okay? So I just want to make sure I didn't misspeak there, okay? So anyway, I digress. I always go home. And one of the first things I said when I got back into the hobby is that, man, and I said it in passing, we didn't spend a lot of time on it. Man, I wish I had a local card shop, an LCS, as I like to call it, a local card shop. Somewhere where I could establish a relationship with, you know, the owner of a shop, spend my money with that guy. He would then give me kickbacks and deals, and he would tell me when product was coming out, and I'd be able to get my hands on it first and things of that nature. Like, establish a relationship. I like relationships with people. I'm still the guy that wants to go in the bank because I want to talk to the teller. I want to see that teller in their face. I'm the guy that doesn't go through the drive-thru. I don't eat fast food at all, really. But if I have to go to a fast food restaurant, I want to go in. I don't want to park. I don't want to go through the drive-thru. I don't want to wait in line. I just park my car. Everybody else is going through the drive-thru, okay? I want to park my car, walk in, and get my food and get out because everybody else is in the drive-thru. I'm that guy. I'm old school. So I want to be able to go to my local card shop, establish a relationship with the shop owner, spend my money with a guy that knows I got a customer that's not going anywhere, and because of that, I get deals. That's what I'm looking to do. I don't have that around here. I've already told you guys there aren't any real local card shops, ones that I feel like are of true benefit to me. I've got a couple of locals around here, but I'm not interested. I've been to both of them. They weren't my scene, okay? But I was out shopping, Black Friday shopping, and my uncle flaked on me. He usually is my partner in crime on Black Friday. He flaked on me. And my mom flaked on me. She was supposed to go, and last minute she pulled out on me. So I went by myself. I don't have any problems going by myself. I've gone by myself probably the last 3 out of 4 years. So it's not a big deal. And at the end of the shopping, I'm kind of glad I went by myself because what happened wouldn't have happened if someone would have been with me. As I'm on my way home, I've hit my last store. I'm done for the day. I'm ready to go home and relax. I've been at it since, 9 in the morning. It's now 3 in the afternoon. I'm driving on the interstate back towards the house and my parents' house. And I just said, you know what? I want to know if there's any local shops around here. So I put in local shop in my GPS, and one happens to pop up right as I'm passing the exit that I'm about to pass. It pops up, I needed to get off at that exit. So I got off at the next exit. I busted a U-turn, came back up the street, and I went to that local card shop. Shout out to Heroes Sports and Cards, right? So I go to Heroes Card Shop. It's in Virginia Beach off of Witch Duck Road. And I get there, there's no parking spaces. I'm like, this is going to be terrible. It's going to be a whole bunch of people in here. I don't even know if I should go. I'm having a tough time parking. Wasn't the biggest, parking lot. And I said, no, I'm here. I'm going to go inside, just see what it's about. I get there. Crazy part is there's one spot left. And the guy darts in front of me, zooms into the spot. And as I'm trying to park, I look back at him and he's looking at me like, yeah, I beat your ass to the spot. And I'm like, you son of a. So I have to find somewhere else to park now. So it took me about 5 minutes to park because, like I said, it's tight space, weren't any parking spots to make up a parking space. Anyway, I finally get inside. That guy turned out to be a really cool dude. Anyway, long story short. It's a different topic for a different day. I get inside, and initially I'm like, this is not my scene. I see a bunch of Pokemon. I see a bunch of anime. I see a bunch of Marvel. Like, that was me 25 years ago. That's not me now as a full-blown adult. So I'm like, but then I turn the corner because the shop looks a lot smaller from the outside than it actually is. You get inside, it's bigger. But, a lot of times with these card shops, it's right on you. Everything, because they're trying to fit as much product as they can in a tight space, so everything's right up on you. I love that feel, though. Gives me the feel of an old local card shop. So I go in, and I go a little further, and then I turn the corner, and there I see all of the sports memorabilia. Okay, so we've gotten past the Pokemon, we've gotten past the, Magic and all of that stuff, and we get into the back where I see the sports cards. TV on, all of that stuff. So I walk around a little bit, and guys are in there talking. I was like, for a shop that had no parking spaces, I don't see anybody. When I turned that corner, there everyone was. There were about 8 people in there. I said, okay, that's more like it. So I walk around. I'm assessing the scene, seeing what this guy has, seeing, what kind of product he has on the wall because he's sitting behind the counter. And as I go and I scan, I quickly see some product that I would like to get my hands on, but I got to see what the price is. You know what I mean? Like, I know what the prices are online. I don't want to pay too much more than that. There's something to be said about getting something in your hand right now. I'd rather go to the store, buy it, than wait for it to come in 2 days online. I'm that guy. So, like, Dick's Sporting Goods is a store that most people, it is what it is. I can buy a mitt and a ball and a bat online off of Amazon, wait for a couple of days. It'll get here. I'm that guy that wants to go put the glove on, squeeze it a little bit, feel the bat in my hand, get some batting gloves, put them on, see if these fit good, and buy them. Walk away, buy them. I might spend a couple more bucks buying it that way, but that's what I want to do. Well, online, it's different with cards because I'll wait 2 days to pay, $20 less, right? To save $20, I'll wait 2 days to get my cards. I'm not in a rush. I've got enough in the stash for product to do these videos that I don't have to rush to get something here. I can wait. So I needed to know how much he was going to charge. There were no prices listed. And, that's kind of the way you want to do things if you're a local card shop anyway, because if you put the price, I would prefer the price be on the wall right on the product so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. It's a lot more work, and it can provide sticker shock. If I see a price and I'm like, whoa, that thing is $250 online, you're charging me $300 for that box. Yikes. That could scare someone. So it's one thing to see it. It's another thing to hear it. So you would have to ask him what the price was of specific items, and he'd tell you. And so, I didn't ask a single word. I didn't say anything, because a wise man once told me you learn more by listening than you do talking. So as I walk in, I'm assessing the scene, looking at all the product on the wall, and him and a couple of guys are having a conversation when I initially walk in about pricing, about, a guy had pulled a Kyler Murray Contenders rookie auto out of a box that he had bought from this particular shop. And now he was trying to see how much it was worth and how much it was being sold for. And so the shop owner was giving him some of the game as to how do you look up, the worth of a card, not just going on eBay, but going on various sites to kind of cross-check to see what something's selling for. And so I just listened, and I was getting game, and I loved it, and I had no intentions of being in this card shop more than maybe 10, 15 minutes. I ultimately stayed in that card shop for an hour and 30 minutes. We sat, well, we didn't sit. He was sitting, we were standing, but we talked. There were other guys in there. They were all cool. They were all collectors. And the crazy part about that was the guy that cut me off to get into the parking space. He was like, this is the most guys I've ever seen in this shop. He's like, I come in here almost every day. There's usually only one or two people in here. There's like 8, 9 of us in there at once. We're just standing around. We're talking about collecting cards in the hobby. And we're talking about, this set of cards and, collecting cards and trying to buy them in the wild. And so, I love the transparency of the card shop owner, because he was like, look, because I asked him about a specific product that he had, and it was a little bit more than I wanted to pay. And he was like, look, I'd love to sell it for less, but I got to buy all this stuff, and then I got to make a profit off of it. And look, that's the honest to God truth. And I've talked about it. Like, when you buy from an online retailer, they've got to mark it up because they've got to make profit. They can't sell it to you for what they bought it for. Then they're not making any money. There's no margin on that. So if they buy a product for $200, they've got to sell it for $250 to make it worth their while. So, he's telling us, look, I would love to sell you this box of Optic for, $400, but I bought it for $400. I got to sell it to you for $550, $600. I got to make it worth my while. I get it. And if this were my local card shop, I'd be willing to bite the bullet, give him my money, because I know in the long run, it's going to benefit me. And I'm going to ultimately start paying less for cards than I would if I bought it from an online retailer. But that's not my local card shop. That guy, I may see him once, maybe twice a year when I go around to my parents' house. I'm not going to be able to frequent that shop as often as I want to, so I can't establish the kind of relationship that I want to with that guy. So spending my money with him isn't going to be as beneficial as it would be if I were able to go there all the time and spend my money with him, where I would get a kickback. You know what I'm saying? And so I said all of that to say this. We sat in there, we talked. I talked about so many different things. We talked about where the hobby was going. And some of the conversations we had on this podcast. I talked about Fanatics kind of running a monopoly on the entire hobby and what he thought that, because this guy was super knowledgeable. You could tell he's been doing this his entire life and he loves it. And he was giving out all the game. And I was just sitting there soaking it up. I talked about, the value of cards that, when you don't have the license, how it drags down the value. He's like, he gave me a different perspective on, baseball. You've never seen me open any Panini baseball cards. Why? They don't have the license. That license belongs to Topps, and it will for the next 2 years until Fanatics takes over. And you won't see me open any Panini baseball cards. because they can't show the jersey. And I just have a problem with that. You know, I don't think the cards are as valuable. And I just don't like the look of a card where a guy's got on a blank jersey, essentially. But he said, look, here's the skinny on that. No, the cards aren't worth as much. But he said the product is a damn good product. And for what you pay for it, because Panini baseball cards are super cheap usually, because they know they don't have the license, they can't show the jersey, so it does pull down the value of their cards. Their baseball cards are usually relatively cheap. And he's like, dude, what you'll get in those boxes from a value standpoint, you'll make that back exponentially and then some. And so it's a good buy. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You know, I didn't think about it from that perspective ever. I just thought about it as a collector myself. I don't want a card with a guy wearing a blank jersey and a helmet that doesn't have anything on it. But from that perspective, you get a super rare card and it's flashy. It's got all the, like, you know how prisms look? You get a baseball prism, you know, that's a hollow with a, you know, with some more juice and things on it. And you're like, wow, this is a really dope card. Throw an auto on it. And all of a sudden that card's worth $800. Well, you only paid $50 for a mega box. You just got an $800 card out of it. So I didn't think of it from that perspective. I'm still not going to buy Panini baseball cards. I'm not interested, but it was just a different perspective. And these are the types of conversations, these are the types of things that happen when you go to a local card shop. When you actually get to talk to somebody and you're not just purchasing online. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. That's why I stayed for an additional hour and 15 minutes. Again, I had no intentions of staying there longer than 15 minutes, going in, seeing what they had, and coming out if there was something that I wanted. Ended up staying for an hour and 15 minutes. So it was outstanding. We talked about so many different things. I almost bought a couple more boxes off of him. A guy bought a box, opened it right in front of us, had some really good hits out of a Topps, I think it was a triple threads box. We got to watch him open that, a couple boxes of that. So it was a cool trip. I long for that. I want that so badly. Like when we move, I'm going to probably be living where I live right now for another year or two. And then we're going to have to probably move. I'm hoping that wherever I move, there is a local card shop not too far away that I can frequent. Hopefully the owner is as cool as the guy that I had the pleasure of talking with. And there were two of them in particular that were running the shop. Both of them were super cool and could hold a conversation with you and really knowledgeable about the hobby. I enjoyed that thoroughly. That's what the game's missing, guys. If you've got a local card shop, take advantage of it. Not everybody does. If you've got a local, he even had a conversation about the Wild with me. And I was talking about the Wild because he understands he's got to sell these cards at a markup. He's no dummy. He's like, yeah, it's cheaper to go out there. He said, look, I can sell you baseball cards at a much cheaper rate because I actually have a couple of relationships with some retailers where I get my baseball cards relatively low, so I don't have to pass that cost down to you in terms of marking it up. But he's like, for basketball and football, I got to make a profit. So those cards are going to be a little bit higher. And he even said, look, if you go out there, because, you know, all card shops, I don't care what card shop it is, one of these local online retailers, everybody's looking to buy stuff. Cards, boxes, you know, singles. Everyone's looking to buy something. He's no different. He's like, look, if you go to Target and you run into some of those absolute value packs, which I did on Black Friday, he's like, yo, bring them in if you're willing to sell them. Because I told him, I said, I ran into some at Target that day. I got them for $7. They were $6.99. He's like, $6.99. The dude told me he got his for $10. But you got to bring in the receipts. Not like you're going to be able to hose them and say, hey, I paid $12 for these a piece. Oh, okay, I'll give you $15 then. He said, so I went to my car, got my receipt. I showed him that they were $7. He was like, well, tell you what, if you go back there, they're still there, you bring some back, I'll give you $10 for each pack. So I went back to Target. They didn't have any more, of course. But, you know, and that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So if you've got a local card shop, take advantage of it, because most of us don't have a local card shop that we can frequent and take advantage of. That felt good, man. That felt really good, and that's what the game's missing. If you've got one, take advantage of it. If you don't, go look for one. If you can't find one, then you're like me. You're going to continue to have to buy online and in the wild. But, man, what I wouldn't do for a local card shop, that's what the game's been missing. So, I bought 6 of these Absolute 2020s from that card shop. Had a little Black Friday deal. Buy 5, get 1 free. Made a lot of sense to me. I looked at my local online retailer, and they were selling it for about 18 bucks. So I did the math. You get 6 for $100 essentially. You're coming out cheaper than the 18 bucks they were selling it for. So it was a good deal to me. So I jumped all over it. And the beauty of it is it's 2020. So it's Herbert. It's Burrow. It's all the quarterbacks that I don't have any of. You know, it's Tua Tagovailoa. I don't have any of their rookie cards essentially. But more importantly, I'm looking for the KABOOM. Okay, this is a cheap way to go after KABOOM. So that's why I bought the packs. But if I stumble upon a Joe Burrow or a Justin Herbert, cool. You know, it's not going to be worth a ton of money, but you know, it's still a rookie card, and I don't have any. So beggars can't be choosers. But I'm looking for the KABOOM. That's why I bought these. Okay, so let's get in here and see if we can unearth a KABOOM or not. So, see what we got. We start out with James Prochet. It's a rookie card. T. Higgins, rookie. Desmond Patton, rookie. LaMichael Pirine, it's a rookie card. Javon Kinlaw, it's a rookie card. Tua Tagovailoa, that's a rookie card. Throw that one off to the side. Grant Delpit, that's a rookie card. He's actually playing well this year. Remember, he spent the whole year last year on IR with an injury. Marlon Davidson, it's a rookie card. Then we get an insert here. Unsung Heroes, Quentin Nelson. Get a CD Lamb Introductions. You get a Chase Young Green Parallel rookie. That's nice. Then we get to our base cards. Kenny Golladay. It's a green parallel. Matt Ryan. That's a green parallel. I think you get 3 of those in a pack, so that should be it for that. Carson Wentz. We get a number hit. Look at that. Carson Wentz, who actually is playing really well this year. This is number to 149. Look at that. Hey, how about that? That's a hell of a hit for a value pack. We don't get those very often on these value rips. Look at Absolute coming through with some heat. DJ Chark. Base. Tom Brady. Base. DJ Moore. Base. Aaron Donald. Base. Marlon Mack. Base. And Chris Carson. Base. If that's any indication of what's to come with these absolute value packs, man, we might be in store for some heat. That was a juicy value rip. If I may say so myself, you come away with a Carson Wentz numbered to 149. That is gorgeous. You then hit a Chase Young green parallel rookie. That is delicious. And then you get a Tua Tagovailoa, one of the 3 quarterbacks. Still not the ones we were looking for, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. That is some sweet action right there. So, three sleevable hits. And you could even throw this CD Lamb's Introductions in here if you wanted to. Right? 4 sleevable hits. That's rare for a value rip. I'm just going to say that right now. So, man, that was excellent. I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to the other 5 that I have in my possession. Hopefully one of those 5 have a KABOOM inside, but that's a hell of a start. You know how it usually goes, though. You start off with a bang, and then you cool off considerably. As a wise man once told me, that should cool your ass off. That probably is going to be the best of the 6 that I have. I bet you any amount of money, we don't have anywhere near the success of that particular value rip that we just had with the other 5 packs that we have from 2020 that I got from that shop. But, that's also another advantage to buying locally, is that it gives you another place to buy. Like when you buy your cards from the same place over and over again, I feel like it lowers your ability to hit. They're not going to keep giving that same shop hits over and over again. They spread it out. So if you can buy your cards from different places, I think you give yourself a better chance of getting hits. But that's nor here nor there. Bottom line is, if you've got a local card shop, frequent that local card shop. If you don't, seek one out. If you don't have one, then you're like me. It sucks. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here for another installment of the Card Collector Series podcast. I thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you had a glorious holiday season. It's not over yet. Christmas right around the corner, but Thanksgiving was outstanding. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and the break and time off was well needed. So until next time, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Card Collector Series for more content. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything, and also hit the like button and comment. If you've got a local card shop, I'd like to hear about it. Like, these are the things I want to have conversations with you guys about. You got a local card shop, you don't have a local card shop, you're looking for one, I'd like to hear about it. Leave it down in the comment section. That's what the game's missing, honestly. But in any event, remember, it's hunting season. It never ends, especially here on the Card Collector Series. Till next time, you guys take care and happy hunting.